Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I remember my father used to say that one attribute of a superior species is adaptation to new environment or to changes. And you can't adapt, then you did something wrong. Now, I don't know if it's wrong or right, but in this case, I think it works. So what happened? It seems like the Russian army, Russian military, is going to outspend the West by adapting. And how does the Russian military adapt? By using cheap but effective weapons to destroy very, very expensive and good Western weapons. The problem is this weapon is about $35,000 and those weapons are about millions of dollars. Therefore, the Russians will probably outspend them, or not outspend them, but outlast them. Is that how you call it? When you are going to be the only one crossing the finish line because the other one is dead in the dust over there. So let me tell you what this fantastic, cheap and very effective weapon is, and terrorizes the Ukrainians and exasperates the Western sponsors. But hey, the business is good, so I think they don't really care much. Why? Because the weapons manufacturers are getting more orders. That orders are going to be shipped into Ukraine. Those orders are made by the governments. The governments get the money from their citizens, and the big business, the big weapon manufacturing companies make a big profit, and then it's called not bribery. No. It's called campaign donation, I think. Right? Is that the right term that I should use here? Not bribery. Then donate for certain politicians, for their campaigns, that can appoint the same guys who pushed for this pip pop up dip. You understand? Now let's go and see this fantastic weapon, Russian weapon. Reuters from today, June 28, 2023. Cheap Russian drone, a menace to Ukrainian troops and equipment. This little piece of garbage is good enough to blow up, not destroy entirely, but take it out of work, the equipment. This little thing here. Cheap Russian drone, a menace to Ukrainian troops and equipment. So, we go down here and it says that Ukrainian servicemen from 4 different artillery crews named Lancets as one of the main threats they faced on the battlefield in conversations with Reuters. So, Lancet, that's the drone, and that drone is around $35,000. So that's a cheap car, or average car. However, nowadays that's a cheap car. Before pandemic, it was a good car. All right, cheap doesn't necessarily mean bad car. Earlier in the spring, they were not using Lancets as often as they are now, quote unquote. 35-year-old artillery gunner Bohdan, who gave his call sign as Doc, told Reuters near Avdiivka on the Donetsk region front lines. Russia's defense ministry has been encouraging an increase of production of the Lancet as a cheap way of high-value Western equipment given to Ukraine for its counteroffensive, said Samuel Bennett, adjunct senior fellow at the Center for a New American Security. Bennett said that according to publicly available Russian sources, a Lancet drone cost approximately 3 million rubles, which is around $35,000. In comparison, analysts estimate a single S-300 missile used by Russia to cost at least several $100,000. A Leopard 2 tank is worth several $1 million. So that Lancet thing is not going to destroy the Leopard 2. You're just going to cause enough damage so it's going to be out of service. So it's done. Because the Lancet is a single-use device, that destroy itself on impact, Bennett said it can only be viable if the cost is kept down to the tens of thousands of dollars per drone. Very, very good. It seems like they have found a way. Every day, I'm quoting, every day we shoot down at least one or two of these Lancets, but it's not a 100% interception rate, unfortunately, end quote. And besides, you're gonna send a missile or to destroy, or a rocket that costs probably, I don't want to say millions of dollars, but hundreds of thousands of dollars to destroy something over $35,000. Well, Lancet drones are flown in real time by a pilot. SAC said the Lancet carried a relatively small explosive payload ranging from 1.5 to 5 kilogram. If you want to know in pounds, multiplied by 2, let's say, as an average. So 10 pounds, or let's say 3 pounds here. However, despite being less powerful than an artillery shell or most rockets, the Lancet appears to be able to inflict significant damage. SAC said this distinguishes it from the Iran-made Shahed-136 drone, which Russia has also used extensively to hit Ukrainian targets, because a Shahed flies to a pre-programmed destination and cannot be piloted while in the air. Boo! A near miss. The newest Lancet model, the Lancet 3, can fly up to 50 kilometers, which is 30 miles, Bennett said, making it better able to strike targets deep inside Ukrainian lines than any other Russian suicide drone besides the Shahed. Alright, so it says its ability to loiter and then chase down its target makes it a threat to high-value equipment such as tanks, self-propelled artillery, and rocket launch systems. One of the Ukrainian vehicles most at risk is the BM-21 Grad, a large Soviet-era truck-mounted launcher that can fire a barrage of up to 40 rockets over a wide area. Its firepower makes it a priority target for Lancet drones, and a video shared by a pro-war Russian social media channels last week appeared to show a Grad being hit by a Lancet. Reuters could not blah blah blah. Now here it is. Having fired on a Russian target, they tell you an example here, a little story. Having fired on a Russian target, Voron said his Grad was immediately targeted by a Russian S-300 missile, which missed by about 150 meters, 1 feet multiplied by 3. However, a Lancet drone then appeared in the sky and chased the Ukrainian rocket system. And I'm quoting, "We decided to flee. Ooh! After about 50 meters, it fell just to my right. It didn't hit us. Thank God," the 27-year-old said. So, the drones like the Lancet, which fly low and slow, that's how they fly, tend to confuse traditional air defense systems, which are built to intercept fast-moving targets with a larger hit signature. Nets or metal cages can help limit the damage, said SAC, the Defense Ministry official, but the best defense are radar-equipped automated auto-drone guns as well as electronic warfare systems. So, it's flying. Without such systems, Ukrainian soldiers are often forced to try to shoot the Lancet down with small arms. And I'm quoting, "It's flying at 100 kilometers per hour, so shooting it down with small arms is not an easy challenge," said this guy here. Wow. So imagine a Lancet coming over. Oh my God. Let's run. And then the system is done. So this is, as I said, you just according to the new environment, you adapt. And the Russians adapted with these Lancet drones, $35,000 versus a Leopard 2 tanks, millions of dollars. What's going to happen? Well, at one point, the Western countries cannot get their public debt so high, therefore they have to stop enriching the military-industrial complex or the weapon manufacturing companies. So here it is. This is the new menace that causes so much terror in these guys. Well, I think it's a very, very intelligent way of doing it. I'm assuming the Ukrainians are doing the same thing, so it's not only the Russians being the smart guys here. I think the Ukrainians have their own drones and doing the same thing. So by tomorrow we're gonna have all these gamers being pilots of these drones. There's gonna be gamer versus gamers. So if you guys play games, you might find your friends over there and hey Gigi, is that you? God damn it, you again? I'm gonna attack this Russian tank. Well, I'm gonna attack this Ukrainian tank. Okay. My God. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.